y'all, Dixie here. Today I want to talk to you about bear canisters or bear cans on the Pacific Crest Trail. Before my through hike, I had heard that you needed a bear can for the PCT, or at least a part of it. And so I wondered, where are they required? What size do I need? What brand do I need? How much is this going to cost? How much weight is it going to add to my pack? So I hope that this video will help cover some of those questions for y'all who are wondering the same things. So to start with, where are bear canisters required? There are several national parks and national forests that the PCT passes through that require people to use bear cans when they're camping. So just to make it simple, the PCTA has suggested that from mile 702, which is Kennedy Meadows, all the way up to Sonora Pass, which is mile 1017, that you should carry an approved bear canister in that area. Now, although the PCTA says to carry a canister from Kennedy Meadows going north, you can actually pick your can up in Lone Pine because it's not required until you get north of there, and that's Trail Pass at mile 745. Now, some people don't want to get off to go to Lone Pine because you have to take like a 3-mile side trail and hitchhike to town. But if you don't want to carry the extra weight of your bear can from 702 to 745, you can save yourself a little bit of weight for 43 miles. And if you pick up your bear canister in Lone Pine instead of in Kennedy Meadows, it'll save you the fee that they charge for holding packages, which was $5 when I was there in 2017. The other area that requires you to have a bear can is Lassen Volcanic National Park, and that's mile 1343 to mile 1363. Now, at mile 1350, which is 7 miles north of the park boundary, if you're going northbound, there is a campsite that has bear boxes. So this is an approved area for you to camp and put your food in the box. That way you don't have to get a canister. So then the next day you would have to do, at least 13 miles to get out of the park. Or you could camp on the outside of the boundary and just make sure you hit that 20-mile stretch in one day and you never camp within that boundary. And then you don't have to worry about getting your bear can back on trail. And what I did was camp at mile 1350. The specific bear canisters I'll talk about today are approved for the PCT, but if you use a different one, which is fine, you just want to make sure that all of the required areas that the trail goes through, that the can that you want to use is approved. The only 3 brands of bear cans that I remember seeing on the PCT are Bear Vault, Garcia, and Wild Ideas. The cheapest ones are going to be the Bear Vault and the Garcia, and then the most expensive is going to be the Wild Ideas. As far as I know, the Garcia brand only has one bear canister. It's 614 cubic inches or 10 liters. It weighs 2 pounds, 12 ounces, and it's usually about $65 to $75. And it's said that it'll hold about 5 days of food. Bear Vault has a couple of different sizes, so they have the BV 500 and the BV 450. The BV 500 is by far the most popular bear canister I saw on trail. Its capacity is 700 cubic inches or 11.5 liters. It's 2 pounds, 9 ounces, and runs for about $80. And it's expected to hold about 7 days of food. So somewhere between $5 to $15 more, you could save yourself about 3 ounces. The BV 450 only holds about 4 days of food, and it's only about $10 cheaper. So I would say for the PCT to hold your food, you're probably going to need more than the 450. But I'll have links to all these cans in the video information, so you can check them out closer in detail if you'd like to. So the Garcia and the BVs are both made out of plastic, and that makes them a little bit heavier than the third brand I mentioned, which is Wild Ideas. Their canisters are made out of carbon fiber. They have the Scout, the Weekender, the Blazer, which is new, and the Expedition. I ended up using the Weekender because they said that it would carry about 6 days of food. It has a capacity of 656 cubic inches, which is 10.7 liters. Wild Ideas says that it's just over 31 ounces, but it's basically 2 pounds. So to save yourself all those extra ounces, the Weekender costs about $288. So the 3 canisters that I've really mentioned are between 614 cubic inches and 700 cubic inches. Now, the one I used that was at 656, it was not big enough to carry all of my food for each stretch throughout the Sierra Nevada. And honestly, I don't know any of my fellow through hikers that were able to fit their whole resupply in the bear canister that they carried. As far as I know, Bear Vault does not have a canister that's bigger than the BV 500, but Wild Ideas does have the Blazer. The Blazer is just over 33 ounces and it has 750 cubic inches or 12.3 liters of capacity. Now this one is even more pricey at $312. And then the next size up is the Expedition. If your budget doesn't allow for one of these Wild Ideas bear cans, you can rent from them. Now, the thing is, they only rent the Expedition or the Weekender. For the Weekender, it's $5 per day plus a $12 shipping fee. And then for the Expedition, it's $6 per day plus a $12 shipping fee. So for that 315 mile stretch, if you did 20 miles per day, you're looking at about 16 days. Now, if you incorporate zeros and having to go down side trails to go into town to resupply and all of that, you're probably looking more at like 20 days. So for the Weekender, it would cost you about $112, and then for the Expedition, it would be about $132. Now, the Expedition holds about 12 days of food, so it's going to probably be plenty big enough and probably even a little too big. Now, if you're looking to rent one of the cheaper bear cans like the BV500 or the Garcia, some of the local outfitters on the north side and the south side of the Sierra Nevada have capitalized on the opportunity to rent out bear cans to hikers. So if you're wanting to rent one of those, I know that the outfitter in Lone Pine rents out bear cans, and I'll put their website in the video information, but I'm sure that some of the ones up north do too. So if you don't, want to rent one of the more expensive ones and you're not looking to even buy one of the cheaper ones, then, they do have deals, especially for through hikers. So that's something else that you can check into. So I know some of you are like, but wait, go back. You're telling me that most of the bear cans that people carry on the PCT don't even hold all of their food? Yes. I know the rule was set up with good intentions in mind, but the truth is most of the popular bear cans that you can buy or rent usually aren't big enough. So I would suggest that you hang on to your bear bag just in case. The good thing is the first day that you go out of town, that food doesn't have to be stored in your bear canister. You can try to make sure in those longer stretches that you're carrying food that's more compact. And then also, make sure to remove all of your packaging. I mean, most of the time people do that when they put food in their bear bag anyway, but just tossing all of the boxes or maybe putting some things into Ziplocs to make them fit better in your bear can. As far as making things fit in your bear can, I will say that the Wild Ideas brand does a better job with design. So the BV500 and the Garcia, they both have this kind of curvature or lip thing. So it's like the bear can goes up and then it kind of bottlenecks, where the Wild Ideas brand, when you take it off, you have the whole diameter of the bear can to shove stuff into. So there's not like this bottleneck. So it's easier to access and it's easier to pack your food in there in a more compact manner. And to keep your volume of food lower, you can go into town to resupply more often. It's just that through the Sierra Nevada, a lot of the exits to get off the trail are side trails. I think there are a couple of side trails that are like 10 miles long. So if you get off trail there and then spend the day coming back, you're taking at least half a day to go to town and back just on that side trail. So basically you took a zero, but actually had to hike that whole time. So there are some people who carry much smaller bear cans than what their food can hold. Not recommending you do that. I do think that it is important to try to fit your food in your bear canister if you can, and to not, take that cheap route of just taking the smallest bear canister you can just to pass with, I have a bear canister, because, you don't want bears associating people with food. You don't want people being injured or killed by bears, and you don't want bears having to be euthanized because they've started being aggressive towards people. If you're thinking, well, I'm not even going to fool with this bear can mess, I'm not worried about it, like who's going to be out there checking? There actually are rangers that come around and check. I was checked by at least one, but it might have been two. My bear can was strapped to the top, so the ones that I encountered didn't have to specifically ask, but I did have a ranger ask somebody else around me whose bear can was in his pack to tap his pack to make sure that, she could hear that he did have a bear canister in his pack. So while I've never met a ranger that specifically asked for me to prove that all of my food and anything with a scent could actually fit in my bear canister, I do think it is the best idea to try to follow that and make it happen. If you're wondering what will the rangers do if I don't have a bear canister, well, they will ticket you. And a lot of times they can ask you to return to the boundary of a park and get a bear canister before you come back in. So now you're at camp and you finished eating and you're about to put all of your food, anything that has a scent like baby wipes, toothpaste, all of that stuff in your bear can. Now what do you do with it? Well, what you're gonna do is take it, they say 100 feet downwind. Now I know that the wind direction can change, but they suggest downwind. That way you don't have the scent of the bear can being blown up towards your tent. So it's downwind, so your tent scent is blowing down to the bear can, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, if you're afraid of losing it or not being able to spot it, or if it rolls away because a bear does come and play with it in the middle of the night, you can put stickers on it or some kind of brat tape just so it'll stand out a little bit more, and you'll be able to recognize it, around rocks and trees and things like that. If you're wondering how to carry a bear canister, some people put it down in their pack, so it's cylindrical. So they'll put it long ways down in their pack and then stuff, their other gear in around the bear can inside their pack. Other people are able to actually turn it horizontally and fit it down in their pack. So it's going to depend on what pack you have, how big it is, how it's shaped, and if it's going to be more comfortable to carry it inside your pack or on top of it. For me, I elected to put it on the top of my pack. I just didn't want to have to rearrange my whole pack and fool with that. Luckily, the HMG pack that I was using already had a Y-strap on the top. Those straps just help hold the bear can on there better. If your pack doesn't have a Y-strap, chances are the manufacturer might make one to go on there. So for example, Z-Packs makes an optional Y-strap that you can order and put on a pack if you have that one. Otherwise, if you do have to, put it on with just a single strap, you can add like tape to the bear can to just kind of give it more friction against that strap. And then the BV500s already have these little ridges or tracks that your strap will go onto to help hold it on there. I have to admit, I was looking forward to dumping the weight of my bear canister, but it was pretty convenient for me keeping it on the top of my pack because I could pull it off without having to worry about opening my pack. I just had to unclip my strap, set it down, and open my bear can to get snacks or to cook lunch. And then also it doubled as a little table to put my stove on and cook on top of, or a stool to sit on when I was taking a break. And then also, a drum. I mean, some people end up having little drum circles and like a little band around the campfire at night because, we're bored and it's just fun to do something like that. All right, y'all, well, that's all I have for you today. And if you have any questions about the bear can that I used on the PCT or any of the bear cans that I saw used or how I used it, then feel free to leave those questions in the comments below. If you have experience using a bear can and you either loved yours or hated it, please feel free to leave that also. And if you found this video or any other videos on this channel helpful and you would like to support the work I do, you can do so at no additional cost to you by going to dixieaz.com before you do your shopping on Amazon. And thank y'all so much for watching, and we will see y'all next time.